combat like a good leader and role model.
Chill out! Horrifying and fascinating.
Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and today we are coming at you with a Rads Harlowe update. So I've been meaning to update this build. This build has been in basically locked into the state of where I haven't wanted to update the build, but we have finally updated Radiation Harlowe, and now we are going to go over the build, and I will let you guys know what we have changed, and we've changed the action skill because now we're now using group study because group study is so good. So we're using group study. So we put 5 points into cyclotron for we get a little bit of extra 20% fire rate, which is really good because we're using the bot and Rainmaker, and they both benefit from fire rate. So 5 points in here. We put 5 points into elementary, which our class mod is putting 2 extra points in here. It gives us a 8% extra elemental damage. On top of that, it gives us the 28% extra status effect damage. And then we put 3 points into enriched. Carlo gains increased radiation damage. And then we put 1 point in the great red dot to get down the tree to give us a little bit of extra status effect duration. And then we put 1 point into elephant foot so we can when shield breaks, it deals radiation damage to all entangled enemies nearby Harlowe. Gain equal overshield to the amount of damage dealt. And then Poison Sun. Harlowe gains increased radiation damage and irritation chance. So the radiation damage is increased by 42% with the class mod here because we only put 2 points in here. Our class mod's putting 5. And then we have a irritation chance of 84%. So the enemies have an 84% chance of being irritated, which is really good because one of our skills benefit from enemies being irritated, so that allows us to get more gun damage. So we have 5 in momentum, gives us 25% crit damage. Then we're using 5 points in neutron decay. When Harlowe irritates an enemy, she gains increased gun damage. This effect stacks, so this is why we need points into that. And then we put 1 point into creative, 3 points into creative overflow, so we get extra gun damage up to our overshield. Then we put 1 point into Renaissance Cascade. Whenever Harlowe does radiation damage to enemies, she gains increased action skill damage, and this effect stacks. And then we put 1 point into Confirmative Reality, so we get our action skill back a little bit easier. And then we put 5 points into Excited Extate, which gives us 35% extra crit damage. This is infinite crit, so this is very, very nice. And then we put 3 points into Distribution Function, so this gives us a little bit of shield restore for damage dealt. And then we put 2 points into Refaction, so our linebacker, when we're fighting the crystals in Bloom, our linebacker has a chance to ricochet. So that's really, really nice because the linebacker does not come with Jacobs. So you can use that to give that the chance to ricochet. And then we put 4 points into Gamma Burst with Harlowe triggers or trigger actually the next shot fired from her guns drain shields and deals bonus radiation damage based on the damage dealt. And this gives you the 40% bonus radiation damage. And then we put 1 point into Harlowe Certainty Principle when they get down in this tree. And then we might put 2 points into critical funding because that's all we need to stack stickies and keep our ammo afloat. And then we put points. We're using the riddle you this evacuating Rainmaker of alt shotgun radiation and stickies, which is really, really good, really powerful gun. And then we're using the linebacker for crystals, ordinate enemies, and all that. And then we're using the bod for awesome bossing. These 2 guns are bossing weapons. We're not using any melee skills, but we are including the mantra on this because the mantra is very, very good and very powerful. And this is included on the build because it's just really good on this build. It works really well. And then we're using the triple bypass, which gives us action skill cooldown by 100% on replicate use. So we already are using action skill cooldown, so this gives us double action skill cooldown. And then we're using the automated crit knife to get a little bit extra damage when needed. if needed. You really don't need it. And then we're using the unstable chemist. This gives you extra rotation, gun damage, and 20% damage dealt. And then we're using the triple amp watch for dinner, which will give you 50%, 150% gun damage per shot. Destroys 35% of your shield when shot, but we do so much damage that you're always getting the amp damage. And then we're using a head ringer, guns with torque, lights, and parts gain 25% damage and 100% damage radius. This one has gun and critical damage, gun splash radius, and gun mag. So gun mag really helps out a lot with the extra fire rate. Splash radius and gun mag I highly recommend having on your enhancement because gun mag allows you to stack stickies a bit easier because we have a bit more fire rate than normal. A splash radius allows you to take out the crystals really easily with the linebacker, and then gun critical damage for infinite crit. So it makes a lot of sense. We're going to be using that there. And then we are using 3 dead eyes that gives us 30% more gun accuracy. It gives you gun critical damage, and every critical hit grants 50% critical hit damage per stack up to maximum stacks of 5% per 10 seconds. And then we're using airstrike, gives you 20% splash radius and 20% splash damage. And then now for the specializations, we are using bullets or scathing because the 30% damage reduction when shields are full. And then this gives us the best defense, gives us more damage dealt when shields are full. And then we're using riddle you this because gun damage per stack stacks up to 50. And then we're using now caffeine, so we have a little bit of extra skill cooldown. It works out really nice, and it's really good. It works really good. Hope you guys enjoyed this build video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Damn, my mouse died.